present to you Real Chicks Rock presents Real Discussions. It is another beautiful day in the neighborhood here in Atlanta. Listen, the president was just through.
Right.
The president was just through our neighborhood, like causing a little havoc, closing at ramps and streets and things like that. We wish Joe well, right? So thank you for coming through to Atlanta for MLK weekend. That's what it is. It's a very big weekend here, the birthplace of Martin Luther King, and we do things very big here in Atlanta for the weekend. Thank goodness the weather conditions are beautiful. The sun is shining. It is not brick out here like it was for Christmas a couple of weeks ago, so we are feeling it today. So it's a lot of good vibes and a lot of good vibrations. We want to welcome everybody that's in the city today. Thanks for all the new listeners that are checking us out. Let me just give you a little background about what Real Chicks Rock is all about. We're all about creatively collaborating, connecting, and raising awareness regarding issues that impact women. And we do it by various different platforms, by community service. We do it through public speaking, mentoring, and the arts. We've been doing this for 7 seasons. This is our 7th season, so we're super excited. We have had some wonderful people come in this space, and today is no different. It isn't. Because I got somebody that I met on my own. I just see them. I see him out in places and spaces. Just had a nice little conversation with him. I felt he was a nice person, and I was right. And so today my guest is Shannon McCollum. Hi, Shannon. How are you?
Hi, Michelle. How are you? Thank you so much for having me.
Oh, it's a pleasure. It's a pleasure to have you.
Thank you.
Man, your energy is phenomenal. I'm so glad that you're here.
Yes, I'm glad to be here.
Yeah. You're a good guy. You're a good guy. Let's jump into it, Shannon. Where are you from?
I was born in Noonan, Georgia. Noonan, Georgia.
I lived here
Did you live in Noonan once?
I lived in Noonan when there was nothing down there.
Okay.
Before there was all the stores and it was a Wayfield food.
Right, small
the
town.
Dairy Queen was the place to go hang out. Right.
Listen,
54.
You talking my language now. I grew up going to that Dairy Queen.
Wow.
I grew up. Grandmother taking me to get my little dip cone.
Yes.
What? Yes. After school. Yeah. I actually was born in Noonan.
Yes.
And my parents bought this wonderful house in the West End. Back, I think around 83.
Okay.
Around 83, 84. And we moved to the West End when I was in middle school. Actually, we moved to East Point.
Okay.
First from Noonan.
All right.
And then I think College Park. We dabbled in College Park a little bit. And then they bought the house.
Right.
And it was an old Victorian, hadn't been lived in for like 20, 30 years house. My dad got a great deal on the house from one of his dear friends that he used to work with. And we moved in the house, but it didn't have any heat.
Wow.
It didn't. We used to have kerosene heaters.
Wow.
That's how far back I go.
Wow.
Yeah. So by time I got, I'm 12, 13. I decided to move back with my grandmother to Noonan while they work on the house and get it together. I'm gonna go live with grandma.
Okay. She had heat.
She had heat. She had the groceries. Yes. And grandma kept the love. I was the only child.
Yeah.
I was the only child. So grandma kept the love in the house, in the family.
So you've seen Atlanta evolve, because I've been here, Shannon, since '89.
Okay.
And I'm leaning into the mic. Love brought me here.
Right on. Won't love do it?
Yeah, won't love do it. Changed my zip code and address and everything. Came from New York and was here. So I lived in Union City, and then we bought a house in Noonan. So that's how I know about how Noonan was.
Yep.
And then unfortunately that relationship didn't work out, and then I moved into College Park. Riverdale, Clayton County side.
Clayco.
Right? And so I know, I'm feeling you on your timeline. So as you moved to East Point and College Park and West End, things were not bubbling, or were they, Shannon, at that age? Were things starting to pop? Were we feeling the emergence of Atlanta yet? Not yet, right?
Well, it depends on what Atlanta.
Okay.
You know what I mean? I mean, because seriously, Atlanta been popping.
Okay.
You know, the Royal. Let's take it back to the Royal Peacock.
Right.
Let's Auburn Avenue, all the black businesses.
Yes.
You know, so it's had its sting. Now, when my time came along in the 80s, well, I graduated high school in '88. Okay. So I remember going to Clark.
Yes.
Okay, when I went to Clark, and then that was just a shift because my freshman year, it was no longer Clark College and it was no longer the Atlanta University. It became Clark Atlanta University. My freshman year, that was '89 or '90. I think no, 90.
Okay.
Because I went to a junior college. I was shooting ball, played ball, and transferred to Clark in '90. Yeah. So so when I came back, I you know the music scene is happening.
Always.
The music scene is happening in Atlanta. I mean, like we talking. The Raheem the Dream and MC Shadi's and you know so was that scene as a teenager for me, but then by the early 90s it became LaFace Records, and LaFace came and put an imprint on Atlanta for certain. Yes it did. Yes.
Shannon, I want to ask you, as you come to Clark and you're starting to go to college, I really wanted to get a sense of, when did you start to get this photography bug? When did that happen for you?
Yeah, so you know what? It was the summer of '90.
Okay, all right.
It was the summer of 1990. And I was hanging with, it wasn't a her. Okay. I was hanging with this cat named Jason Orr, and Jason used to do an event called Funk Jazz Cafe. And he was talking about it on paper. He would talk about it on paper. He would show us. I mean, he had a plan. I mean, and he would talk to his friends about it. And so one summer, we had met. And we're hanging out, and we're down. I never forget this. We're downtown, and I finally asked my dad, "Can I use one of his cameras?" I wasn't serious. Okay. But I just like to go around town and go downtown and shoot buildings and whatever. And then I meet Jason's friend, whose name is Andre. Andre was a freshman at Morehouse.
Okay.
Was getting ready to be a freshman at Morehouse, and I'll never forget, we hung out with him that day, and then later that afternoon, we went to his house, and he had all these pictures on the wall. And it immediately took me back to my childhood, because what I didn't tell you is my father's a photographer.
Yes.
Okay? And he was, Atlanta Journal-Constitution, Morehouse staff photographer now. Yeah. So, that's my life. Photography, pictures, that is my life. So, but growing up and living in College Park, East Point, all these different apartments, my dad used to staple pictures to the wall. Yeah. So we had a collage of pictures. So when guests came over, because my mom loved to host and she liked to cook and have little get-togethers, I used to watch as a child how people would be enamored by walking in the front door and being drawn to the wall. You couldn't walk past that wall. And you would just get caught, and you look at all my dad's pictures, and I watch people look at them and they point, and they Phil, I remember that, and it's just, you're a little boy and you're going, wow, look what these photographs mean to people. Look what these photographs, look at the conversations that are being had from photographs. So without knowing this was going to be my path, I loved it so much because it was a time caught in a capsule, and that it stopped time for a minute, and it's history now. This photograph is history. And the one beautiful thing also I remembered that my mother did for many years is because, back in the day, we printed photographs.
Right.
Hello. Yeah. We printed photographs.
Yes.
Okay.
Albums.
Yeah, albums. Yes. My mother used to write on the back of the picture the date.
The date.
And maybe the little, Shannon, 6 years old at the playground.
Right. Right.
And that to now go back and look at our old family photos is to go back and see my mother's beautiful handwriting, or my grandmother's, and to see you know, my great aunt, or this is Aunt such such, this is Aunt such and such, you know, and it just it's a timeline. It's so beautiful. Oh man, it's so beautiful. So I'm a child growing up in this, and I'm in it, and I don't know I'm loving it, but I'm in it.
Yeah.
I'm a part of it.
Right.
It's I bleed it. You know what I mean? I literally bleed it. So fast forward, I meet Dre.
Yes.
And Dre got these cool pictures on the wall, and they black and whites, and you know they artsy, you know. And I'm like, who is this cat, man? You know, his little film canisters on the desk, and his lenses. Ooh. And I was like, that's my dad. Who are you, bro? Hold up, this goes on in my house.
Yeah,
What you know about this,
right.
you know? And I was drawn to Dre. Immediately, I was like, okay, you my new homeboy. You don't know it yet, but you
we rock it.
We rock it.
Let's unpack a couple of these things, Shannon, because you touched on a lot of great things. Photography does run in your veins. And it seems like you almost had to have an out-of-body experience in the sense of stepping out of, because sometimes we take things that we're exposed to all the time for granted.
Yes.
Right?
It's easy to do.
Because you see it every day.
You see it every day. Yeah.
You know, these people are older than me to make a big deal about these pictures. Right.
Yeah.
Right. Dad
Yeah.
does it.
Right.
I see it every day.
Yeah.
So now you step out of your house and you see somebody else that's getting down similar to how your dad moves. It's like, oh, wait a minute. I know something about this. You know what I mean? And I never had other people in my age or in my space that had these things that are familiar to me. So I was like, I'm not checking for it. But you got all of this?
Yeah.
Let me tell you what I know about this.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Because I see my dad take these
Oh,
pictures.
man, yeah. And not only that, we had a dark room in the house.
Did you?
We had a dark room in the house.
That's old school.
That's old school. So you got to understand, as a kid, you know, my dad could be lost down there for hours.
Yeah.
He could be lost down there for hours. And as you're coming, you know, down the stairs, or you're moving towards the dark room, you start smelling the chemicals.
Wow.
You know,
Wow.
and as you get closer to where he is, all the lights are off, and it's just a little red light.
And he's in there.
He's in there. His Miles Davis or his Last Poets is playing.
Right.
You know what I mean?
He's heavy. He's really working.
Oh, he working. Negative strips are up. You know, he's going in his Kodak box, giving his blank piece of paper, and then you drop it over into this chemical, and then you take it out, and then he take it over into this chemical, and he take it out, and then he put it and hang it up, and then an image appears.
Man.
What?
Magic
appears.
Dude.
Yeah.
That was his man cave.
1,000%.
You know what I mean?
1,000%. Wow. And for me to be able to slip down there with him and not be a nuance, but to sit over in the corner and just watch. Yeah. Or, Dad, can I hang a picture?
Right.
Or can I hang the negative strip?
Right. Just to be a part of it.
I just want to be a part of it.
Man.
I ain't want to be a photographer. I would just want to be a part of the process.
So you thought. At
Right.
that time. Did your dad take you on some of his photos?
Absolutely.
Like that?
Absolutely. Yeah. And my mother.
Wow.
And my mother. He taught my mother how to shoot.
Wow.
Yeah, and to be truthful, she was cold with the camera. Mom was cold with the camera too, you know, and they became a duo of doing weddings together.
That's beautiful.
Oh man, you know, like yo bride, come over here, mom will get them together right quick.
I love it.
You know what I mean?
A family business.
Family business.
Yes.
Every weekend they be out there popping it off, making it happen.
But you didn't have photography.
But I didn't have it in my blood. I had it in my blood, but I wouldn't stud no camera. Not for real.
More like ball.
I was all basketball. I just carried the ball everywhere. Just dribble it, you know.
For those that are listening and can't see you, how tall are you?
6'2". Yeah.
Nice b-ball height.
Little b-ball height.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah. Word.
So that's what you're doing.
That's what I'm doing. I'm hooping.
All right.
I'm hooping.
All right. So now we're back to 1990. We meet Dre. You like, yo, I know everything about this. So then you guys start connecting.
So immediately that day, I went home, like hurried home.
Yes.
Dad, I want to use one of your cameras.
Wow. What do you say?
And so I wish I could show you the face like
what? It's like, huh?
You ain't never asked me to use no camera. You know, yeah. And you know how in your refrigerator, how the bottom drawers are the vegetable drawers?
Yes, the crispers.
The crispers. Those were where he held the film. So we didn't have vegetables down there. We had film. We have rows and rows and rows of film.
Yeah.
Yes.
Keeping it cool.
Keeping it cool.
Yeah.
Because the difference of professional film, you had to keep refrigerated versus what they call more or where someone would go to the drugstore or Walmart and pick up a roll of film. You know, it could get off the shelf. But professional film, you had to stay refrigerated. Yeah. So we had, you know, and that didn't mean nothing to me. It wasn't special. Right. It's just you open our drawers and well, my friend's mama got tomatoes down there. My dad got Kodak black and white film. You know what I mean? Yeah. So that's just what it was in McCollum house. You know.
So Dad lent you which camera?
Dad, listen. I'll say this. Which is a little unfair. Out the gate, I got a Cadillac. Out the gate.
Wow.
He didn't give me a little Ford. He let me hold the Cadillac.
Wow.
You know, immediately. So I didn't get the little cheap lens and the cheap little camera to play with. You know, I went big boy out the gate. Yeah. You know, so you know, you put somebody in that kind of situation, you know, you gain an appreciation.
Yeah,
immediately. It's like, oh, that's a quick focus. Oh, wow, it's great. Oh,
and it felt good in your hand.
And it felt, it felt good in my hand. It felt like it belonged there.
Yeah.
It felt like it belonged there. And from that point, once he let me, you know, it wasn't my camera, it was still his camera.
Understood.
But I could use it whenever I wanted.
That's beautiful.
I could use it whenever. It was like going to the library and checking it out, but at the crib, you know. And I just knew to take care of it. You know, that was my pop's camera, so I had to take care of his equipment. And you know, I don't know if you know, but camera equipment is not
it's cheap. It's not cheap. It's very expensive.
Very expensive. The good stuff.
The good stuff. So it's an honor right out the gate.
It's an honor right at the gate.
Would give you one of his best cameras for you to have. You've never asked before, and here it is. You're outside. You're in college. You meet Jason and Dre. And now it's like, I gotta go get this camera. Now you out. So what are you shooting now?
I mean, and Michelle, we talking. We you know, let me just paint you a little picture.
Sure.
We're talking. You know, okay. So here's a 17 to 35 lens, and then here's a 50 millimeter, which is a portrait lens, and then here's a 70 to 200, where you can shoot from here to all the way down there. You know, it was just I had an array of toys. I didn't just have some little toy. I had, and he would equip me with a little camera bag. You know. So I had arsenal. Yes. So I looked the par.
Word.
I looked the part coming out the gate.
Yes.
Yes, man. I looked the part, and I felt the part too. So, yeah, man, I felt so good. I felt so cool.
Strapped and ready.
I was strapped and ready. I was ready. I was, man. Listen, I was ready. And you know, when you get them kind of toys, it builds confidence.
Yes, it does.
It builds confidence.
It does.
Two things. You know, you're being loaned something that somebody believes in you.
Exactly.
You know, yeah. And he's like, okay, take it and go have some fun.
Right.
You know, right. Go shoot a couple rolls and let's see what you did.
Right.
You know.
Yeah, that's awesome.
Yeah, and I could come back and get my stuff printed, and he could say, okay, good here, good there. Okay, you could have did that. You know, you it's trial and error.
He's mentoring you.
Trial and error. It ain't no you snapping and you can look on the back of the camera and say, let me delete that. Let me get another one. No, you had to take your time. You couldn't cheat.
Yeah.
You know, you had to know your apertures. You had to know what ISO to shoot at. You know, is it too much light? Is it not enough light? You know, you have to know. Yeah, and so for me, not going to school for photography,
right.
I learned through trial and error, and I was blessed enough to have ample enough film that I could play with.
Yeah, you sure did.
I had film. When you go to a lot of the stores and you pay for a 12 exposure or 24 exposure, I had 36 exposures. Yeah. I could just shoot. Come on, man. You know how great that was? I'm just firing off.
You just firing off. Man.
Yeah.
So what were some of your images you used to take pictures of, especially with Jason and Dre, because that's where it first popped for you. So what were you capturing in that?
So now I'm on campus. I'm at Clark with a camera, and you know, the funny story. My dad told me. He says, you know what, you know, I used to get in a lot of free parties in college because of my camera. And I was like, oh, okay, you know. And what do you know?
It still works.
It still works.
Yeah.
I'm at the head of the line. I'm getting in parties. I'm shooting parties. I quickly found a niche to hustle pictures. So on Fridays, all the little AKAs, the Deltas, the Qs, the girls that got cute and wanted to walk the yard, I would on Fridays I would take their pictures. I would take their pictures on the yard. I would shoot the AKAs together. I would shoot best friends together. You know, girls get their hair done on Fridays. You know, you do all that, you catch all that. And Monday, I'll roll right back around on campus Monday, and I would have printed the pictures out. Nice. And I start selling them, and I start selling prints. Every Friday. Yes. So now I got people on campus looking for me. Nice. And I make $200-$300, you know, taking pictures. Yeah. So now as you're starting to do that, come shoot our event, come shoot our party. Can we hire you to do this? I mean, you know,
that's how it happens.
That's how it starts happening.
Yeah.
That's how it starts happening. And people start seeing you, and you, Shannon, you the dude take pictures? You know, I mean, it becomes that. It becomes that. Yeah. So I'm on campus taking pictures, and again, you know, we're talking the music scene is starting to bubble in Atlanta.
It is.
It's starting to bubble. 91, 92, 93. It's really starting to pop a little. And I don't play any instruments, but my instrument is the camera. So I found my way into the music scene. You know, I love to be like a fly on the wall. Right. You know, you don't have to be all in the mix. You know, you can just capture moments, and that became like my little thing. I love the documentary side of photography. Beautiful. Yeah, the photojournal side, and all that stems from my dad.
That's your dad.
That's my dad. He was a newspaper photographer. It's just, right? Come on. I'm just doing it as a music photojournalist now. Yeah. I'm trying to be like an Annie Leibovitz. I'm trying to be like a Gordon Parks. Now I want to go out and follow rappers. Now that became my thing. I want to follow these southern rappers around Atlanta. You know, I want to make a name for myself being the guy that you didn't know you needed.
That you didn't know.
Hello. You didn't even know you needed me.
Man.
You didn't know. I just showed up, and I kept showing up, and I just kept showing up. And what I was doing while I was showing up is, you didn't notice, but I was coming and I had prints. I had pictures. I went to the 1 hour photo lab. I started working at a photo lab. I started coming everywhere because when I showed you these pictures, you get to see yourself.
Yes.
Musicians, rappers, they like seeing themselves.
Yeah, we all do.
We all do.
We do.
We do.
And you, Shannon, because I've seen your work. And before we leave today, even if it's on your iPhone, you're gonna take a picture of me on your iPhone, but I can say, Shannon, take a picture of me. But people want to see themselves, and what I find intriguing about photographers like yourself is that you find the beauty in everything.
Because you can't find the ugliness in everything if you try.
I got you.
So there's a choice. There's a choice.
Yeah.
I can make you look bad because we all squint. We all have our eye closed in a photo sometime. We all try. Yeah. Or
gum in the mouth.
Listen, that's a choice.
Yeah.
I could show that.
Yeah, you could.
But I'm not trying to show that. I'm trying to show your warm smile. I'm trying to show that embrace of a hug.
Wow.
I'm trying to show you dapping your boy down. I want to bring that out.
Right.
It's something about the glass being half full and not half empty. And when we see each other in images it look like love. It look like smiles. It looks like happiness. Warmth. Yeah. You caught my baby. Oh. Yeah. You know, like I want that.
You want that.
Yeah.
So that's where we get the same camera, different eye.
Yeah, man. Same camera, different eye. Yeah.
You see things differently.
I see things differently, but my camera, honestly, is really no different from the next man's camera. It's a camera.
I understand. But it's the individual behind the camera.
Yeah, it's the individual behind the camera.
Yes. Grab.
Yeah.
It's not just
No.
You're trying to catch moments in time.
I'm trying to catch moments in time. I'm trying to give you something to remember.
I understand.
I'm trying to give you something that you could cherish. I'm trying to give you something that you can be proud of. You know, once I I went to college with this girl, and went to high school and college, and Jamie Petaway. Jamie's awesome, and her mother had just remarried. Her mother was probably in her 60s when she remarried, and found love.
Yeah.
You know,
I'm
just
I'm hopeful.
Me too. As we getting older.
Yes.
Looking good. Hello.
Yeah.
50. Hey, I'm 53 Monday. So
Happy birthday.
to come, I'll be not tomorrow Monday, but the 23rd Monday.
Yes.
So yes,
Nice.
yes,
Happy
53.
birthday.
Word up. Yes.
Good.
I'm feeling good too.
You living right.
Yeah. Hey man, I'm trying. I'm minding my business.
That's
Staying out the way.
Staying out the way.
Yeah. So listen. So the story. So I said, Jamie, you have to let me photograph your mother. And I see it. I mean, like,
Yeah.
wow. Look how they're holding hands and they're embracing each other. And you know, at the 60s. So the mother is all about it. You know. So I take them over to Adams Park. You know.
We know that.
Yeah, Adams Park in Atlanta, and I get all these great pictures of them. I get all these great shots. I just get them walking around the lake and holding hands and all this great stuff. So, again, I like to print photographs. They're tangible now.
Yeah.
You can touch it. You can look at it. You can. It's a photograph. Looking at a photograph on your phone, on your computer, that's cool. It's great. It's immediately. But when you can touch it. You can touch a photograph.
Yeah.
You can put it up close to you. You know, it's something.
I haven't touched a photograph in a minute.
See what I mean?
Everything's digital
now.
And it's very quick and that's
it's the world we're in.
It's something about. It's almost like when people read a book, right? There's Audible. I'm an Audible person.
Yes.
But there are people that like to feel the pages.
The pages. You want to touch them pages. Yes.
And it's something about going.
A bookmark.
A photo album. The same thing. Watching. From when they were little to when they get bigger,
it's a story in every page. It's a story. Every time you turn that photo album, there's a story. And not to jump off my story I'm on, but I used to love to shoot weddings and give the bride the book, and then she's gonna take it to work.
Yeah.
Hello. She's gonna take that wedding album to work, and she's gonna show all her coworkers. She's gonna show her girlfriends.
I did with mine.
Listen, that's what.
I did, and the baby shower.
And the baby shower.
To work.
Come on.
And they were like, "Ooh."
Yes.
And here's the seller. And who took your
Come on.
pictures?
Who took the pictures?
They are beautiful.
Yes.
And I tell you know what? And I tell whoever takes my pictures, give me a stack of your cards. Because when I take this to wherever I show, I'm going to just slide it. We're not writing nothing down and I transpose the number.
I'm going to give you a card.
I'm going to give you a card with the website and everything.
Yeah. Well, see, I've always been a step ahead, and I knew that would happen.
Yes.
And so that it almost, seriously, not to sound some kind of way, but it almost got to a point where I ain't need to give a business card no more. Because word of mouth is so powerful.
Come on.
Word of mouth is so powerful, especially if you show up to your job, to the assignment on time. Yeah. Especially if you're very professional. Especially if you do a very good job. Especially if you're seen taking pictures and you're not over there eating the folks' food when it ain't time for you to be on eating the folks' food, and you're being professional.
Yeah.
And people appreciate the whole You can take some good pictures, and he was an hour late though, girl. So just so you know, before you hire him, he might not be on time. Nobody wants that. Nobody wants that. When your event starts, they want the photographer there.
Yes.
And that's something I learned from my father. That's something I watched.
Yes.
He didn't tell me that. He showed up to his jobs on time. I watched him be a professional with his clients.
Right.
My whole life.
Yeah.
I watched how he talked to other professionals. So now I got the playbook.
Yeah, you sure do.
I got the playbook.
You sure do. Yeah.
And it's up to me to know how to move with the playbook now. Do I follow in his footsteps, or do I try to make my own path and show up when I want to show up, and show up with alcohol on my breath and craziness? No. I'm a professional.
You are a professional.
So I'm gonna act like a professional.
And you're kind.
Because I saw it.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
I synced it. I synced it.
You synced it, Shannon.
But let me tell you the story real quick. So I take these pictures of this couple, and I run into her and her mother at Lenox Mall 10 years later. They were coming out the Gap. I was walking towards the Gap. She said, "Oh my God, it's Shannon." And we embrace. And it's beautiful. And she said, "Mother, do you remember Shannon?" She says, "Not really. I don't really, my hair changes and the lady's older than 60 now. She's whatever age she is."
Right.
And she said, "Ma," she said, "he took the pictures of you and such and such." And she immediately looked at me and touched me on my face.
Wow.
And she came face to face with me and she touched me and she started crying. She started crying.
Really?
He passed. And she said those were the most valuable photographs to her because I captured I captured them. And he had passed, and those they used them for his memorial, and
Wow.
So that's it's that. It's that. I could be somewhere and I could see somebody and he said, this is my son. You shot him when he was 5 and he's 6'5" now. Playing college ball.
Yeah.
And I shot his first basketball pictures in kindergarten. You get them kind of moments too.
Wow.
And it's so special because you are part of somebody's journey.
Yeah, you're part of the footprint, Shannon.
Man.
You're part of the footprint. I want to ask you, MTV Sweet 16, how did that come about?
Man, you know what? That came about because I call it, before iPhone, I call it FaceTime.
Okay.
And when I say FaceTime, my face was everywhere. I used to be everywhere. You having an event? I'm here. I'm there. You doing? I'm there.
Yeah.
Even if I wasn't getting paid to shoot stuff, I was there, and I was shooting. So all it did was somebody saw this man loves what he does. You can tell I love it. Because for me, I always knew the bread was gonna come from it. I always knew the money was gonna come from it. I wasn't. Listen, I still kept a job, but I knew that money was gonna come from photography. When you love something enough and you're good at it and you work towards being good at it, the money gonna come. So I would just show up and shoot, and then they'd be like, the promoter be done hired a photographer, but then see how I'm moving around all stealth, and and people know me, so they're giving me the vibes, and the photographer over there ain't getting what I'm getting, and now he's trying to follow me and get what I'm getting, and now you're like, well, how much is it gonna be to get your pictures? That's, you know what I mean? So it would be some of that. On the low. Right. Yeah. The caterer. I saw you taking pictures of my cake, and I saw you. Yeah. I need some. Can I give you my cup? Yeah. Now I'm selling pictures to the caterer.
Word. Yeah. Because they need it for
their website. And for their next event. That's how they sell themselves. Yeah. I'm trying to get a little bit of everybody dollar.
Yeah. So the MTV Sweet 16 because you're everywhere.
And somebody that was a producer for the show knew me and said, I think in Atlanta we should hire Shannon.
Just like that.
Just like that. And the crazy thing is that was Gerald Levert's granddaughter.
Wow.
Yes. Wow. That was Gerald Levert's. No, that was Eddie Levert's granddaughter, Gerald Levert's daughter. Yes. And I spent like a week with her. She was a musician. I shot some stuff for her. I just followed her, documented her little journey as she was getting ready for them coming to film her. Yeah. Man, I had no idea that MTV was gonna run that as long as they ran that. Somebody would call or text me every other day because MTV was running it so many times, and I had a little speaking part, and they kept showing me shooting, and it was like, I saw you on MTV, But that was a good look. MTV was a good look. Yeah.
So did it pop off? Did it open up some other opportunities for you, Shannon, from that, or you was already steady on doing some stuff anyway?
Honestly, I was steady doing some stuff, but it added to the mix.
I got you.
It made the train go a little faster.
I hear you.
And it gave me more visibility. And people see you on TV. That's a win-win. And you take that and you build from it, and you want to do more. You want to obtain more. You want more. Yeah.
So you were doing parties and private events.
Weddings,
concerts. comedians.
Yes, not comedians yet at that time.
yet.
Not at that time. I wasn't there yet. Yeah.
So you got in the concert space. That's
I
definitely right.
Oh man, I was heavy in the concert space, and I was out. That's when I was trying to be I was trying to be the male version of Annie Leibovitz. You know, I was studying her coffee table books. You know, she was out with the Rolling Stones. She was shooting backstage. She was shooting in the hotel. She was shooting on stage, on the plane, and they was just giving her free range to do what she wanted to do, and I wanted that. I wanted that with hip hop artists.
Yes.
I said, man, I want to do that. Everywhere they go, I want to document it. And they didn't know me. They needed me. They thought rappers back in the day thought you just take a videographer, which is great. You do take a videographer, but do you know the importance of photos?
Yeah.
Your footprint from city to city, in the studio when you're making records. Like I was a part of all of them kind of.
The behind the scenes is amazing. The behind the scenes are amazing. When you go to, just a side note, when you go to Detroit and you go to Motown, and you see the pictures of them.
Yeah, the museum, in that room.
On the mic. You get chills
You get
when
chills.
you walk in the room.
Yes.
Because it's the piano, the mic, and it's the Supreme. You can just imagine all the people because the pictures are there.
They're right there telling the story.
Yeah,
legs crossed. Yeah.
Because it's all night. It's at 3 o'clock in the morning.
It's a session. Yeah, Smokey Robinson here and that with his pen and pad.
What I'm talking about?
Yeah.
So you become a trusted family.
1000%.
Member, because it's like wherever we go, we want Shannon to be a part of it. And you're silent. It's almost like you're not even a part of the conversation. Your camera is speaking.
My camera's speaking, and it's because I know how to not act like I'm their friend. I don't need to act like I'm your friend. You know, you got me here for a job, so I'm gonna work. I'm not gonna pretend. I'm not doing all that with you. You know, I'm working. And what tends to happen with me, with celebrity to celebrity to celebrity to celebrity, I've worked with celebrity. They know that I'm not going to put them in a bad light. Yeah. I'm never going to put them in a bad light. I don't care if they're doing some dirt. I'm never going to put them in a bad light. That's not my place.
That's appreciated.
Yes.
That's appreciated.
Yes. One time, I got a story. One time, I can't say his name because he's on TV. But he was smoking a joint backstage, and I was taking pictures. And the guy said, "Oh, he didn't know me, the guy, but he knew this celebrity."
Right.
And he ran over and he was blocking. He was trying to block my camera, and the celebrity said, "Shannon's our family. Shannon know what network I'm on. He would never put me out there like that."
Right. Wow.
You know how powerful that was for me?
That is powerful. That is powerful.
For me not to have to defend myself and say, you know, I'm this is just me capturing the moment, and this is for him. I'm giving this to him. It's not gonna go out into the world.
It's him.
It's just for him. He was having a good time. Yeah. But the dude that was trying to block my camera, he didn't know the trust that they had in me and the trust that I have in them.
Right.
Because let's say I publish that to the press, and I wanna try to get a buck off the back of somebody's style, so my photo can be all over the place. That's a one-time thing. Now I done lost a client. I done lost somebody that trusted me.
And now you got a reputation in the business.
And
that you can't be trusted.
You can't be trusted.
Don't work with that guy. He's dirty.
No, don't work with him.
Nah, don't. You blackball.
Yeah.
No kind of work from nobody.
Nobody, because you know what? Bad news travel way faster than good news.
Yeah. Now you're doing 5-year-old birthday parties if you can get them.
If I could get them.
Turkey cheese.
Oh, Jesus.
And that's not where you want to be.
That's not where I want to be with 100 little kids walking around me.
No. This is awesome stuff, man.
So it's a learning process. You as each person you work with, everybody's temperament is different.
Yeah.
You know, and you get the opportunity to know who wants the camera in their face, know who wants you to be across the room shooting, know who wants you to come on, get this, and you start to see how they move. Yeah, and you start to see the importance of being there, but without being there.
Is that type of photography, does that exist today? Because to your point, everything's videos now.
Yeah.
And we don't really have newspapers like we used to. And we had Ebony and Jet, we had Vibe and Source.
Yeah.
And we had all of these outlets that we could see.
I loved it. Yes.
And did you really see people in their element? maybe tying their shoe with somebody.
Yeah.
And so, do we have that today?
Well, it's just now it's the blogs, you know, and now they're for Instagram and they're for Twitter and they're you know, they're that thing now. We have it, but it's different. It's different. You know, it's like now if you shoot something now, the folks want it damn near at the end of the day. You know, it's like, hold up, I just shot. Then the one thing about digital, you mess around, you can shoot 200-300 pictures.
Yeah.
Easily. And it's fun and cool while you clicking. Then till you get home on that computer, you got to go through all them pictures and pull stuff.
Fill out the garbage ones.
Get rid of the garbage and send them something nice. And you know, so people have to realize that part of the photography when you had to wait, because we had to go send the film off. You know, you had to wait. You had to wait. So you just had to be patient. So I try to tell people, you know, just, you know, be patient. Let me edit it. Let me get it right. I'm gonna still get it to you in a timely manner. But you know,
give me time.
Give me a little minute. Yeah, because you want it to look good. And then if I send you something in an hour and I ain't had time to look at it correctly, no. That makes me look bad. Right. Yeah. So let me tighten my work up and make sure, let me give you the best of the best. Yeah, most definitely.
And you know, Shannon, I see it's like after we met on our terms, I see. You know, I see, and then I saw you at an event, you know, taking some pictures. It was community focused.
Yes.
And so you're in that space too.
Yeah.
You're just everywhere.
Man, listen, man, I'm trying to touch the people.
Yeah. You touching the people for real.
Yeah.
Because that was a good day.
That was a good day, and that's a very good client. And you know, it's just. Again, you know, I applaud myself, you know, on knowing how to move in different spaces. Yes. Knowing how to move in different spaces, knowing how to be a professional in different spaces. Yeah. And connecting with people. Connecting with people. You connect with people. It's important. It's important. Yeah, it's very important. Yes. You have that, and people sense that, and I think that creates that trust, and they want your eyes. Yeah. Through that camera. Yeah. They want to see what you see. That's right. And they trust you. And they trust. It's a level of trust. Sure. And again, we're capturing moments in time. People come out to experience things, and then it's people like you that capture the moment for us. So then we can go back and remember that moment in time. Yeah. Which makes it beautiful. I want to talk about the comedians, because I saw on social media you gave a shout out to, I think it was one of your people, Mike Epps. Yeah. So let me tell you, when I started feeling like I was getting too old to be shooting rappers. Really? Okay. Yeah. I want to move to something else. I ain't that young no more. I can't be doing all that foolishness y'all be doing. Or be up in them times of the night, in the hour, you know. I love my sleep. So, but anyway, I and again, how do you meet Mike Epps? He's at the top of his game. Right. Mike comes to Atlanta, and he's raising money for the Tupac Foundation in Decatur. He wants to put on a benefit concert and raise money for the foundation. So his publicist, word of mouth, found out about me through actually M1 of Dead Prez. I used to tour Dead Prez. Wow. And M1 had said, you know, Shannon just got back from Europe with us. That's your dude in Atlanta. And so she reached out to me, and I said, yeah. I said, funny enough, I said, I love Mike Epps. I think he's funny. I think he's the next Richard Pryor. You know. And I said to myself, I want to shoot comedians, but I want to shoot the goats. I want to shoot the guys that are in this genre that are doing it. That are, you know. And to me, Mike Epps was one of the guys that I really wanted, like, because he was the Richard Pryor of our time. To me, he was that kind of funny, you know. And so when I got the call and I shot the benefit concert, he didn't pay me. He didn't pay me. Okay. And I was gracious enough. And sometimes, you know, in this entertainment business, you know, you get stuck. Yeah. In any kind of business. Yeah, in any kind of business. Yeah. So I he didn't pay me, and I didn't feel good about that. But they came around and did an event. No. He reached to his publicist and said that I'm gonna be in Atlanta. It was months later. Right. Can you call that photographer? Right. So he called me, and I told her, I said, look, Would I love to shoot Mike Epps' show? Absolutely. But he didn't pay me last time, so I don't know how good I feel about that. She said, you know what? I know, and I'm so very sorry. Let me reach out to him. So she said that he felt bad. He said, if you come, you shoot it, he'll pay you for tonight and for that one.
Okay.
Yeah, and I did.
Okay.
And he did.
And he did it.
And he made right. He paid me for the event, and he gave me a little something extra on top of it.
I appreciate that.
Yes, Mike.
Good
Yes.
looking out.
So now, Mike gets his pictures taken by a gazillion guys, but I tend to think it's me.
Yeah.
I tend to think you okay with me being. I mean, here I am riding in the car with you to your show. Here I am going to being on a plane with you, sitting next to you. I mean, all those kind of things. That ain't just because I can take pictures.
Right.
You know what I mean?
Right.
There's something else on top of that.
Yeah.
And that went on for 7 or 8 years.
Really?
Yes. Long time. That's how I got to the other comedians.
That's what's up.
That is how I got to them. Mike had jumped on a tour. George Lopez decided that he wanted to build a statue in Richard Pryor's hometown of Peoria, Illinois. He thought Richard Pryor deserved a statue. Well, he found out that a sculptor had started a sculpting of Richard Pryor, but they didn't have enough money to pay for it. The city didn't want to pay for it. It's crazy. Like, so the biggest artists that come out of Peoria, and you don't want to pay for him to have a statue. So George decides to call these comedians and say, look, none of us are gonna get paid. We're gonna go to Peoria, we're gonna do this show, and we're gonna give the money to the sculpture so this can get done.
Right, nice.
And not only did they raise enough money for that to get done, he was able to pay each guy $20,000. All of them, they still made money.
Nice.
So he said, how about we do a tour? How about I think this is something. So Mike goes and does the tour. Well, I'm working with Mike at this time.
Yeah.
Go with Mike. Our first show's in Jacksonville. Shoot the show. Here I am around Charlie Murphy. I'm around Eddie Griffin, D.L. Hughley, Said the Entertainer, George Lopez. And I'm just like, wow, how did I get this lucky? I just wanted to shoot Mike. So now I got all these comedians I'm around. And after the show, it went great. But now Mike got a call to go do a TV show. So he can't do the tour no more. So I said, God, dog, man, just my luck. I was just going to go on this big city, 20-some city tour. And now it's not going to happen for me. But I work for Delta Airlines.
Oh.
I work for Delta Airlines. And guess what Shannon did? I kept my backstage pass from the last show.
Yes.
So the very next week, they were going to be in Columbia, South Carolina. So I said, okay, I'm just going to show up.
Right.
Didn't nobody ask me to show up. I'm just going to show up, okay? I think I belong on this tour. So I show up. I ain't got no hotel room.
Nothing.
I ain't got nothing. I got there early. I'm just walking around all day. But by the time them doors open, I went right in. I sat down. I just sat there for a couple hours. And next thing you know, I'm backstage. And then the comedians are starting to arrive. And Cedric's manager said, what are you doing here? Mike is no longer on this tour. What you doing here? And I said, he said, who hired you? I said, nobody. I said, I just wanted to come, man. I said, I'm not looking for no money. I said, I just wanted to come shoot the show. I'll share my pictures. And he said, okay, I'm gonna let the guys know. So he lets the guys know. I shoot the pictures, I shoot the show, I'm backstage shooting in the dressing rooms and doing all this kind of stuff. And next thing you know, the guy said, all the guys get together and have a meeting in George's room, right? So I'm outside the room. I'm like, what they doing?
Right. Talk about you.
20 minutes later, somebody peeked their head outside and said, can you come inside? So I go inside. All the guys are in there, all of them.
Yeah.
And they said, look, man, we voted everybody like you, man. What would it take? Can you stay with us?
Beautiful.
Oh man. Because I believed in myself enough to show up again.
That part, Shannon.
I believed in myself enough to just get on a plane, no hotel room.
Just be there.
Slept in the dang airport.
Yeah.
Yeah. But what it did was that tour went on for 6 years.
Wow. Yes.
From a 20-some city tour to 6 years.
Wow.
I paid off a car.
That's right.
I got stuff done in the house. I bought a house.
Yes. Yes.
They took great care of me.
Yeah. Yes.
I got paid at the end of the night. I had to wait 30 days for an invoice. They would say, hey, come get your money. Hey, not chasing you down, trying to rush. No, they would run me in the room and come get your money at the end of the night.
Right.
Crisp $100 bills. What is this? Thank you, Jesus. It became one of them situations. It was just beautiful, and they were grown men, and they were adults, and they weren't kids hanging out all night and cussing each other out. Them brothers actually really enjoyed being around each other,
Yeah.
and it gave me the opportunity to capture them like the Rat Pack was captured.
Good point. Good.
Like the Rat Pack.
Good one.
Yeah, I got to be back there with like you said, with the ties unloosened
Yeah.
and the guys joking each other and
Right.
the real jokes flying, not the stuff that you've rehearsed that you do on stage.
The real stuff.
The real stuff, and it never felt like work. I'm laughing my ass off, my butt, whatever I can say.
Yeah.
I'm having fun.
You're having a good time.
I'm having a good time amongst multi-millionaires.
And doing the thing that you love.
I'm doing what I love to do.
Didn't feel like work.
No.
Wasn't work.
Every weekend, them guys were so good to me. And then when the tour was over, I went out with DL. And then and then George said, "Can you come be with me?" And I've been with George now for 7 years.
Awesome.
And now I'm on private planes from taking pictures.
From using your Delta
Come on, man.
flight benefits
To get to Columbia, South Carolina.
and now you're on private planes.
And now I'm on private planes because I took a
You
chance.
got a story, brother. I'm glad you're here today.
What? Somebody would have said, you know what? I can't. The tour is over for me. And I said, no, it ain't over for me.
No.
I still want to go. I still want to figure it out.
You
And I figured it out.
You figured it out.
Yes, grateful.
I want to touch on this part. You said, I don't want to do hip hop anymore.
Yeah.
Rock stars anymore. I
Yeah.
want to do something different. And then there's somebody in your life that is in the rap industry.
Mm-hmm.
Do you have any desire to work with your son in that capacity?
Yeah, you know, when my son became a musician and his thing took off, I was in the middle of the comedy thing, and it's crazy because here I am telling George and Sid and Charlie Murphy, you know, like I think my son got something here.
You think?
They like, you know, they're tripping. Like, what are you talking about? And I'm showing them stuff on, and it's like, what?
Yeah.
And then the next week I'm like, yo, my son, he bubbling out here now.
He on to something.
He is really on to something. And his first year was so magical because those guys got to be a part of it with me. And they just cheered me along the way. They just, oh man. And George had a show on TV. And he said, you think your son can act, man? You think? I said, man, he wants to go into acting. And George was the first person to put him on TV.
Nice.
George said, look, man, for you, I'm gonna do it for you.
That's awesome.
And put my son on TV, man, and you know, just blessed, just grateful, and for me to get out of the rap game and just slide right in that door of the comedian game, and not just no B market comedians,
Right. No.
C market, no. A1.
Yeah, top of their game.
Yes, king of comedy guys.
Yeah. Shows that are in syndication.
Hollywood Walk of Fame stars. Say it ain't George got
business for 20 years.
Come on, 20 plus.
And they're fathers.
And they're fathers of this game.
So some of them are divorced, but they're fathers.
Yes, they
I
are.
think that, you gentlemen share that, if nothing else.
Yes.
Men out here doing what you love to do and still knowing the importance of family. That's important.
Right on.
That's very important.
Right on.
And you did a wonderful job. We talked a little bit about documentary, like, off camera, in the blue shenanigan space. Would you consider doing a documentary of your son?
Of my son? Yes.
Yes.
I mean,
Nobody could tell the story better than you, Dad. And then to photograph that and do a documentary of that.
I almost wanted to put out a book on him. Because let me tell you something with my children. I have, when they were babies on up, I photographed them every week. And sometimes multiple times a week.
Yes.
And it was important to me.
Yeah.
It was important to me to document their childhood so they could have those memories. They could go back and have those. Like me.
Yes.
I got all kind of childhood pictures. You know, and a lot of childhood pictures. Yeah. You know, some people get the Easter, Christmas, and birthday. I got all kind of stuff. Mm-hmm. So I thought that would be very important for me to document my children. So with Miles, I just, you know, he told me one time. He said, Dad, I felt like you was preparing me for this life. That's what he told me. That's what he told me. He said, Dad, I felt like you was preparing me for this life. I said, I didn't know it was gonna be this life.
Right. Right.
But I was preparing you. Mm-hmm. I was. Mm-hmm. And you know what? I with him, it was intentional. Yeah. It was intentional. Mm-hmm. He went to photo shoots with me all the time. Yes. All the time. He went to studios. He went to. I used to shoot a lot of stuff with my dad at Morehouse. I took him to Morehouse. I just took him everywhere. I just exposed him. Mm-hmm. I wanted him to see stuff. Yeah. Yeah. You know, and for him to say that to me, you know, that touched me. He was like, Dad, I felt like you would get me ready. He's like, you know how many photo shoots I've done? And he said, all the photographers or creative directors, they're always amazed at how well I take direction and how I do this. Yeah. It's because you've been doing it. Mm-hmm. You ain't new to it. Mm-hmm. You ain't just started taking pictures when you got famous. You've been doing it because it's in your blood. Mm-hmm. Your grandfather. Yeah. Yeah. Your father. Yeah. It's a tree. It's a family tree. And what they say, the fruit don't fall far from the tree. It doesn't. It don't roll down the street. No, it stays near its roots.
Now, Shannon, for those that may not know, can you share who your son is?
He is Miles McCollum, a.k.a. Lil Yachty.
And so, for parents, and we talked about this offline, the times are so different, right, Shannon? Mm-hmm. Right? The way we came up is totally different than what our kids are doing now.
Very.
They're in an entrepreneurial space. Mm-hmm. They're taking control of what they want to do and who they want to become. I want to ask you, because you seem like a very good parent, a good man, a good person. Any advice or suggestions that you could pass on to us parents? How do you balance your child being who he is and he's still Miles to you? How do you do that?
Well, you know, it starts with my upbringing. Mm-hmm. It's to be honest with you, it starts with my upbringing, and kudos to my parents. Yes. Kudos to my mother and father. You know, you don't get to become who you are without them. Yeah. You know. Yeah. You know, and yeah. Thank you, mommy and daddy. Yeah. It's them. It's their upbringing. You know, they never shied away from letting me do what I wanted to do. If it felt like I wanted to do it, they were all on board. Mm. They were all on board. They didn't say, "Oh, you can't do that." Yeah. You'll never make money with that camera.
And that's rare, Shannon. Let's keep it a buck.
Yeah, it is.
Let's keep it 1,000, because unfortunately in the Black communities, our parents, sometimes whatever is in front of them is all that they know.
That's true.
And so if the script is go to work, make a living, come home, that's what you do, sometimes their vision might be stagnant. And they may not be able to see outside of the four walls. So shouts out to your parents who never put you in a box.
Never.
You know?
Never.
And some of us are breaking the boxes.
Still.
Yeah. Because it's no diss to our parents, because they did the best they could.
And they did what they knew. That's right. Yes.
But the times are different. And so some of us are busting through the boxes, doing things, and then the parents be like, I never thought you could do. I never knew. And then, because they didn't see it for themselves, so they couldn't pass that on to you. Ooh. So your parents were really ahead of their time.
They were, and still are. I mean, my dad was and still is a techie. Mm-hmm. You know, we didn't have an Apple, we had a Macintosh.
Come on now.
We had a Macintosh when I was a kid.
On now with the green screen.
Yes, and the whole Apple sticker with the different colors.
Yes.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Yeah, we had a Macintosh, so we had no PC.
No.
You know what I mean? So I was already seeing that. You know? Yeah. And not only did I see that, I got my mom taking me to plays at the Fox. Yeah. Mm-hmm. My mom taking me to see Peter Pan. My mom taking me to see the Atlanta Symphony Orchestra. Mm-hmm. Yeah. As a child, I am getting to do those things. Yeah. So not only am I seeing the photography side of my dad, but my mother's taking me to plays. It's cultural stuff. My mother is volunteering in the city of Atlanta. I'm paying attention. I'm getting to see that. So when you expose your kids to other things, you know, you broaden them. Yeah. You broaden them.
And parents, don't ask your kids if they want to go.
Just make them go. I didn't want to go.
Just take them.
Just make them go.
Take them. Just buy 2 tickets.
And just make them go. Yeah, just go.
And you'll have a good time.
You have a good time. You think I wanted to sit up in there and be in there to see a play or to my mom listen to classical music in the car, I'm falling asleep, or my dad listening to the jazz, and as a kid, that ain't nothing that you want to do what your friends are doing, but there becomes a time where you gain an appreciation. Hell, I watch 60 Minutes now because of my dad.
I know that's right.
my car stay locked on NPR now. I'm a whole news nerd because of my dad.
I know.
Yeah, it rubs off on you, right?
It rubs off.
Yeah, so I would say to the parents, listen to them, listen to your kids, Yeah, no knock to my ex-wife, but she came after we got a divorce. She came to one of my exhibits, and she had never seen my work. She had never. This is before Miles was who Miles became. Okay. She had never seen my work. And she said to me, because she didn't believe in it, she said, look, I come from, you go to school, you graduate high school, you go to college, you graduate college, you get married, you get a house with a white picket fence, and you and the husband work, you have a couple kids, and boom.
And that's it.
And then it's a step and repeat. It's a step and repeat. Then you do it and your kids do it.
Yeah.
But that ain't what I saw.
Right. I know that's right.
That ain't, I didn't see that. My dad went to work every day with the camera. Yeah. I watched my mom be this humanitarian. Wow. So that's what I got. Yeah. So I'm already out the box. Yeah. We living in a house in the West End that the first 10 years didn't get painted. But they were making strides. Yeah. I got to see them make strides, and by the time they sold the house, man, the house was so beautiful. The house was so French doors. It was so beautiful. And to ride by there now, matter of fact, a realtor friend told me that house sold for like 1.5. And my parents bought that house for $30K. But I watched the process. Man. Yeah. Man. So, mom and dads, don't, your kid wanna do ballet. They tell you they want to write in their journals. Encourage it. Find writing classes. Yeah. Put them in photography. Get them a video camera. And they say they want to be YouTubers, and you don't know what a YouTuber is. Look it up. Let them do it. These cats making millions. I met a kid at one of my son's album release parties. And I met his mom first, and his dad came over, and she said, my son, when he was in 12th grade, he was just so in love with your son. He was just so in love with your son. And he said, Mom, I don't want to go to college. And she said, you're going to college, like parents do. Yeah. You're going to college. She said, no, Ma, I want to be a YouTube star. She's like, I don't know what that is. You're going to college. Listen, that lady told me that her son is doing so well right out of high school that mom and dad quit their jobs and they work for him. There you go. Mom and dad work for him, and they got a 7-figure business going.
That's what's up.
As a YouTuber, and he. What do you do when you when you're looking at different products and you give a review? He reviews different products and stuff. Got all these views, and so
it's a different time.
It's a different time.
When I came up, the template was you work for a company till you retire, like 20, 30 years or whatever, and you get a watch and you get your retirement. Right. And my son sees me hustling with the corporate thing, and he said, and he's 15. He says, Mommy, I don't want to work for corporate. And he says, if I do, it'll be just for a little while till I can get enough information out of them to start my own business.
That's right.
He wants to be a pilot.
Come on.
He wants to have his own drone business.
Yes.
Teach people how to fly.
Come on.
He was telling me about his ideas about a warehouse and where kids could do things because there's no place for that. So he has a whole bunch of ideas. And he said, Mom, I want you to work for me.
Come on.
I'm gonna take you out of this game and you're gonna work for me because what you do, I like what you do. I don't want you to have to do it for them.
See?
I want you to do it for me.
Forward thinker. And it's gonna happen.
And he's 15.
He's manifesting it.
And I told him, and I said to him when he was 12, I said, you don't have to go to college if you don't want to.
That's right.
Because college is not for everyone.
It's not for everyone.
It's not for everyone.
Yeah.
And the return of investment when you come out of college now is different, Shannon, than it was before.
Much different.
There
Much
was
different.
an opportunity to get you set up to
Sure.
go to college and get a job and
Yeah.
with big companies.
Yeah.
The story's different.
It's different now. Now these kids is partnering with companies.
You know what I'm saying? And so they can make money because of their technical, because they're savvy, because they're creative. So yeah, do not box your kid. Maybe let them take a class at community college or something, but don't box them in and make them think that they gotta go to college or do things that they don't want to do, because that's not the thing.
That's right.
I'm gonna ask you this, Shannon.
Yes.
Where do you see yourself? What's next for you? What are some projects you got going on?
I'm ready to do a book.
You are.
I'm ready to do a book.
Will you do the voiceover? Will you be audible too?
Yes.
Yeah, you got.
Yes, because I got stories.
You got stories.
I got stories. Yeah, it come with stories. Yeah, and I've been doing it for 30 years now.
Wow.
30 years.
30 years.
I've been daddying for 30 years. I've been shooting for 30 years. Yeah.
Yeah. So you got a book now. So you're gonna do a book.
I'm gonna do a coffee table book.
Nice.
And I want to do a college run. I want to go on a book tour on the school campus.
Talk to them.
Yeah. Yeah. Because what happens is you don't have to be a photographer, but if you're in the art world, you know, it's the same path.
Yeah.
You know, it's the same journey. You know, it's you know, how much do you believe in yourself before you go in front of somebody and you know, gain their trust to say, why should we use your company?
Right. Yeah. That's important.
Yeah.
Because a lot of us don't believe in ourselves.
And we don't believe in ourselves enough.
And that's not taught. It's kind of like you get it through experience.
You do get it through experience.
And maybe your community, like the people you rock with, your village who speaks into
your
you.
village.
Like the people that say, Shannon, I see it in you. I know you could do. Because I have people that tell it to me, and then, you know, an epiphany, a bulb goes off. And it says, Michelle, you got to start owning your value.
You do.
You have to believe in yourself more than the people that are telling you.
Oh man, you do. You do.
Because
you do. It's important.
It's a part of who you are. So just walk in it. Sometimes just show up.
Show up in it. You know, and I call it being on offense. You know, you when you're on offense, you're marching down that field to score a touchdown. You know, you're not just trying to get a first down. You're trying to get a touchdown. You know, so every play is pivotal. Every play, every move is pivotal. You know, you're trying to score. That's what I'm trying to do. I'm trying to score every time. Every time I'm trying to score. Even if I go somewhere and I don't have my camera, like if I go to the event, it's back to FaceTime. They see me and it's like, okay, yeah. If you're a photographer, or I needed to see you. I got an event coming up. You know, something.
It's always something.
Yeah, it's always something. It's always something. It's FaceTime. It's showing your face and you know, being cordial.
Yeah.
Not being cocky.
Yeah.
Not being arrogant.
Yeah.
Being confident.
Yeah.
But not cocky. And when you move like that, you know, people respect it.
Yeah.
You know, I move with confidence, not cockiness.
No. Yeah.
Yeah, that's
you
my.
used that art, speech, and lyrics last night.
Yeah.
Yeah. Just supporting.
Just supporting.
Just coming out supporting.
I'm
good
supporting.
stuff.
I'm supporting. Man, I went to the very first one 20 years ago. You know, and they interviewed me last night, and they said, you know, what do you think about, you know, this? And I said, man, I watched W and Jabari. These cats grow this business. 20 years later, and oh man,
it's huge.
It's huge, and the artwork is phenomenal.
Phenomenal last night.
Phenomenal.
And the line was down the block.
Down the block. You know,
stopping traffic trying to get in there.
Listen, I had two. I went out with two homeboys last night, and they said to me, it was cold out there in that line, and they said, "Hey man, go be Shannon McCollum and get us in." I said, "Not tonight, bro. We gonna wait like everybody else." Yeah, I'm here as a fan. Yeah, I'm not finna go to the door and like, hey, I'm Shannon McCollum, man. No, man, I'm here as a fan.
And that's the sweet thing about this, Shannon, between you and I met you as Shannon. Not as the great photographer that you are. We just connected.
Right on.
Two human
beings.
I so appreciate that about you.
Yeah. No, I appreciate you. When you know, told me who you were and what you do. You were so kind, and I was excited to come on your show. Yes, I really was. I was excited.
I hold the banner for you. You know what I'm saying? Because Again, you are an icon.
Oh, thank you.
You've done legendary work. And it was just an honor to break bread with you. So we can have this conversation.
Honored.
You know, we're gonna share with so many other people.
Yeah, so and I hope it touches somebody. I hope somebody, hears this and says, you know what? Now I know how to move with my child, or now I know how to move with my business.
Yes, that's important.
You know what I mean?
That's key.
Yeah. All it is I'm inspired by what you're doing. So so now I have to pass it on and inspire somebody else. I remain a student. I remain a student.
We're learning. Otherwise, we better check out of here. You know what I'm saying?
I'm trying to be a student and trying to grow and learn and be better and be a better human being. Be a better son to my parents. Be a better brother to my sister. Be a better father, most importantly, to my kids. I'm always trying to be better, man. It's just it's a work in progress, but I'm built for it, and I'm okay with going on this journey of being a better person, because it just makes me be a better human being and a better. You know what my mother used to always tell me? My mother used to always say, "Be a good citizen. Be a good citizen." I was like, what is she talking about? What is a citizen? What are you talking about? But she's right.
She's absolutely
Be a good citizen. And as I've become an adult, that means you know what that means? Helping the lady at the grocery store with her bags.
Yeah.
That means letting somebody over without cussing them out that they cutting in front. It's just a lot of little things.
Just being decent.
Yeah, man. That's all.
When somebody says
Just speak.
You,
yeah.
And just being cool, calm, and collected. That's how
it.
You always are.
Yeah, that's how I try to remain.
Shannon, how can the people find you?
Please, if they want to find me on the socials, I am at Shannon McCollum, Shannon McCollum. That is social media. That is Instagram. That is Facebook. Reach out and follow me. I'll follow you back. And thank you. Yeah, thank you so much, man.
Beautiful.
Yeah.
I feel a part too.
Yes, it's got to be. You got to come check back in on me. What you doing now? Where you been?
I feel like you need to come back.
Yeah.
You got more. Maybe it's just Shannon McCollum and the stories. Maybe you can share some more stories.
Yeah. Like I had the honor and pleasure of photographing Barack and Michelle Obama.
Wow.
Yes. I had the whole honor and pleasure. And, and I know we got to go, but real quick, you know how this works? You know how this game works?
How?
I was a part of an exhibit in Atlanta, and the guy that was back in the event, this guy named Rick White. Okay, so Rick loved my work. He had told me, he DM'd me on Facebook, saw my work, and asked me to be a part of this exhibit. I said, cool. So I do the exhibit, have a good time, do the show. He says, look, man, I'm head of such and such at the Atlanta Housing Authority. Can you come shoot all the headshots for my staff? I said, yeah, of course. Yes. That's how many heads you got? Yes, I can do that for you. Well, again, back to doing a good job.
Right.
I do a good job for Rick. Next thing you know, 2 years later, Rick take a job in D.C. and becomes the head guy in D.C. So now he want me to fly to D.C. and shoot the Washington, D.C. Housing Authority. So I go up there and shoot all of them. Then Rick says, look, man, he says, my partner, this was around Katrina.
Yes.
He says, my partner just rebuilt the 7th Ward in New Orleans. And Barack and Michelle are going to do a walkthrough of the property since they've been rebuilt. So now it's going to be mixed income. The people that already live there can live here, and then these new people can live here. And it was a beautiful, beautiful townhouse / condo looking neighborhood. So he says, I want you to walk with the Obamas around the property and get pictures of our condo townhouses and them talking to residents.
Nice.
So he says you got to get approved by the White House, and you got to go through them, make sure you ain't who you know.
Right.
Make sure you are who you are.
Yeah.
And I am who I am. And I was blessed enough to get the gig. you got all these press photographers that come out, and they're all white, you know, no knock, they're all white. And so now heart is beating like the parade of motorcycles coming, and you can hear the parade, and I'm sitting outside, and they come out and they open that door, and Barack comes out of that car, and I'm just like, whoa. And then Michelle comes out, he holds her hand, and he sees me. And he looks over at me and he gives me this beautiful smile, like, look at this brother photographing me and the first lady amongst these other people I see all the time, or the other persuasion.
Come on here.
But he see me and he smiles at me, and we made that brother look. We connected with a smile, and I got the opportunity to photograph and walk with the Obamas. They went in this elder lady's house, and I got to go in there with them and take pictures. It lasted all of 10 minutes, but I got to do it.
You got to do it.
And guess what? It is now like a 20 by 24 canvas over my parents' fireplace of the Obamas. Moms took it from the crib. She said, it's got to be at my house, over the fireplace. So now I'm honored enough to, when they have guests over, my picture is a conversation piece now. You see the tables? Full circle. I went from watching my dad photographs being talked about to now mine are being talked about in their home.
Don't make me cry.
I'm gonna cry. It's a beautiful thing. It's a beautiful thing. It means so much to me. And the fact that my father has photographed presidents, Jimmy Carter and some other guys, and now I don't vote. Look at, I mean,
legacy,
man.
It is the truth.
Hey, we blessed over here.
You coming back, and we're gonna do just an hour of stories. I just want stories, because 30 years, you got them.
I got them.
You got them.
I swear.
You can drop some names. You ain't got to drop names. You can do what you want to do. I got you.
Word.
Listen, y'all, this is my time. You know me, Real Chicks Rock. I am everywhere. I'm on Instagram, Twitter, Facebook. Check out the website, realchicksrock.com.
Real Chicks Rock.
T-shirts out there. Go cop some. You know,
cop a tee.
Some T-shirts. Listen, you know, based in New York all my life, came down here. I've been down here for a couple of years now. Seen Atlanta grow. But when I was a little kid, I listened to Frankie Crocker on the radio every night on WBLS 107.5. And he would say when he closed out his show, may you live to be 100, and I live to be 100 minus a day.
Amen.
So that I never knew that beautiful people like you passed away. Until next time, be well, take care.
There I go.
Peace and love.
There I go.
Thank you for checking out Real Chicks Rock Presents Real Discussions. Be sure to subscribe so you don't miss our next show.